Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to a twittery little fluttery evening with my special friends. Rich, I'll bring Rich on last because he's looking a little bit. I'll let him prepare himself. Lee,
Friends.
friends. I don't know how many Americans will get that.
None,
Australians.
I would think none.
Well, they should because it's it's being banned. I think it's being banned.
Has it been banned up now?
I think
Is it?
so. Yeah. I think the new age and all that.
Was
Rich
it
Giordano,
Oh,
Gentlemen,
you're looking
fabulous.
terrible.
No.
I feel like a retired wrestler.
You look like a retired ball sack tonight.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, it's not about you, Rich. Remember that. But to the audience, if Rich is a little bit quiet, he's been a soldier. He's come on the show. He's supporting the channel, and he feels like shit. He does now. But we're gonna cheer you. We're gonna cheer you up, Rich.
The less I talk, the better I feel. So I'm just I'll talk when needed to.
Well, we have got some other guests that may be coming on tonight as well.
God
So
almighty.
I know.
No, I hope so. Dude, I can tap out.
That
was for late.
It's exciting times we live in right now.
Is it?
Well, okay, the last few weeks,
Intrepid times.
but what I mean is, don't say that the wrong way, people. I mean, there's that little bright star over the horizon that is Mr. Elon Musk buying Twitter.
Mm.
Do we see great things, or is it all just gonna? Is it gonna be destroyed?
As synchronicities would go, I made a new friend this week, which is quite a bit weird considering we were doing this show like tonight. And he's from New York, and he was on my island for one evening before he went to Scotland because he was off to watch a band, and he was off to go traveling around Scotland on his bike. And he works for the US government now, but he did work for SpaceX before he started working for the US government, and he was on the software side of launching satellites into orbit. So we had a great old chat about that. Turns out his best mate's a flat earther, which was even more entertaining. And he was saying, look, he said the best information I can give this guy, and he doesn't care. You know, it doesn't mean anything to him. But then we started talking about what I do, like hobby wise, and I talked about Musty Audio, talked about doing this, and I said to him, I said, well, what do you guys sort of think about UFOs? And he instantly corrected me on that. He said, well, it's UAPs, isn't it now? And he said, yeah, they're fucking real. He said, we see them all the time. He said, we get data on them all the time. He said, when we're sending stuff up, he was saying he wasn't in the room at the time, but he was called in. He was in the building, and he was called into it because they saw something like similar to the Go Fast, where you had something at one point which went to another point at ridiculous speeds. And his thing, because I know this is going to be kind of the theme of tonight of what Musk would know, is he didn't believe personally that whatever they are, he said, I'm not even saying they're manned ships or technology. He said it's something. He said, but he doesn't believe it's anything that the US has to offer.
So I have to ask this: how drunk was this guy when he was?
He was sober. He only had 2 drinks when we were there.
Well, Lee was plastered.
I was fucking ruined.
He heard all that shit come out.
Well, he asked an ex-SpaceX guy about the UFOs. I've got to give that to you, Lee. You know,
Yeah.
Nice guy. We're friends on Facebook now as well. So next time he comes back to the island, I'm going to try and get him on the podcast.
Did you see that the Go Fast video was stolen from Germany?
yes.
Was it?
And it was altered.
Was it in 2011?
2007.
7.
So that Get About It video, you know, it's done. They added in static noise or background noise. I don't know, they didn't say they added in the or all that shit, you know, and well, that wasn't it, but it was another video. You know, where they locked in on
Hi,
it,
guys.
the one you were talking about it.
How you doing, guys? Josh and
Good,
Artemis,
how are you?
welcome to the show. Rich is just talking about the
Well, I was trying.
till
He
you
just-
rudely
He
Just
interrupted.
whipped them up in the middle. I mean, who does that?
Us.
It was trigger finger.
No,
Rich.
no, he did it. Alien
It's-
Addict
It's
did it.
my finger.
That's
My
true.
finger. My finger just
we
clicked
don't
in
have
it.
control of the StreamYard.
I'm talking about giving secrets and, you know, to our UAPs, and then, hey, everybody, how you doing? Right in the middle of it. And I'm like, what the fuck?
So
I'm
unprofessional,
joking.
isn't it?
I'm joking.
No, it is. It's the finger, though.
It
know,
was
it-
Ollie's
It always
fault.
thinks first.
Like I said, it's not about me.
Interesting.
All right, I'm
So
quiet.
2007, Rich, this thing came out. I know they did. It was
no.
no, it didn't in Germany.
Well, you didn't say that. Yeah, maybe in Germany it did, but that's when the video was created in 2007. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but that's when they got it, 2007. From the 2007 Germany video, that's where they stole it from. That's what I'm saying.
What does this mean?
Well, it means it's fuck that on its own starts with a lie, doesn't it? So, right, regardless of what it is, it's already a lie.
Does that mean it's a lie?
Yeah.
Does that 100%
It means-
mean
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it means it's been at least given to you by liars.
It's been altered. End of story. Next.
Is this? Are we talking about the one that looks like a UFO, the one that looks like a UFO that's tilting? Or are we talking about
That's the gimbal. That's what
Yes.
a gimbal is.
So we're talking about the one that goes like that and then it shoots off.
The Tic Tac one, yeah.
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 So that one, I knew that had been out for a while before they released it, because Osvaldo Franco showed me it. He said TTSA will be showing this, but I didn't realize it goes back as far as 2007.
Nobody knew.
That's insane. And we have the finger's gonna act now, Rich. The finger's ready.
I'm not talking.
I know you're not talking. Rich Northwood, welcome to the show, my
Hey.
friend.
Hey guys.
I must say, Josh, have you? Oh no, it's there. The hair is there.
The
You
hair is
turned-
there, yeah. It's
Oh,
still
yeah,
there.
it's still
It's
there.
tied up.
I thought you'd shaved it off then at one
No, it's
point.
still there. It's just wet from the shower. I didn't really have time to dry it. So.
I would have quit if you did that.
That would have made everybody leave
Yeah.
ufology.
No, yeah, for sure. You
Would have
don't
been
cut
like
that
a global funeral.
Yeah.
hair.
Mourning
No,
the
it's still
loss
there.
of hair.
It's still there, guys.
I feel like I should grow some like a.
You should.
Do it. Just,
Why not? Just for fun.
There's,
Don't know
there's
what
like
it
an
would do.
awkward stage for about 3 months, and then
Yeah.
once you get past the awkward stage, it's fine. But yeah,
This doesn't feel like the conversation for Mr. Northwood. We should.
No.
have.
No,
Yeah,
it just
I'm
got
kind
the
of
sides
feeling a
like
bit.
that.
no, you're right.
Why? No.
I don't know. I don't know.
So I mean,
I've seen that's an interesting comment. I was going to say this before.
What?
Lord Ludicrous in the chat. I'm sure as well that Corbell was talking about this years ago. Yeah, that this one here, this comment. I'm sure that he was talking about it on Twitter, or maybe it was like a Reddit thread or something. Corbell was talking about this years ago. The Tic Tac, which is interesting.
yeah.
Well, this is the Go Fast.
Ne-
Isn't it?
ne-
That
no,
we're
I thought it was.
talking about?
I thought it was the Tic Tac one, the one that
Yeah,
was
the Tic Tac one. Yeah.
Well, I thought that was go fast because they locked in on it because it was going fast.
Oh, is it
Right?
go fast? See, I've not seen this, Rich. I've been out the field for
No, you've
a
seen it.
week.
I've
No, I mean
actually-
I've not seen the 2007.
Right.
The conversation. I've not
Gotcha.
seen this. You guys keep me in the loop when I'm on the show.
Well, you have a real job.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
So-
just fake it.
Yeah.
We fake it.
Yeah, we
Let-
play pretend.
Yeah.
No, it's true. I mean, I don't feel like it's work.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
let me get this straight. So they did act like this was all new and they'd released it. But it's been out there for years before. Years. I wonder how long the others have been. I wonder if any of those will come to light. That they were already there.
Now you're talking. That's what I'm afraid of. Everything's going like to fall apart. for
It's
them.
all a lie, Rich.
I know.
Your entire life is a lie.
Oh no.
That's exactly what I've been thinking about the last few
That's
days.
so-
Like, have I just wasted my time just
Right.
reading about this and researching it all this time? But it's crazy because the more you peel back the onion, the more lies you uncover. It's crazy.
And I cry with every
Yeah.
peel.
Yeah.
It would
Do
be
you-
interesting to see if some of the shows that managed to get Lou on now, because that's kind of calmed down, see if anybody asks him about this footage being out there in 2007.
Oh my goodness. He was on another show last night.
Based out radio.
Radio.
Trying not to advertise.
He
for that
did
guy.
mention, I think it was UFO Jesus. I saw his tweet today. Apparently, Lou said there's going to be another Lou from like the government, which is going to be coming into like the scene apparently,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
That's what the world needs is more Lou.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's what everybody was thinking. "Oh, I wish we had more.
Yeah.
Or another one. Where could we clone him?
Lou 2.0, but he's learned from all the mistakes what the first Lou made.
I think it's going to be
That's
a
what I
woman
think
as
it's real.
well. I think it's not going to be a man. It's going to be a woman.
It's a Femalu.
Yeah,
Yeah. It does
Oh,
not
I
make
like
sense.
it.
And
I
also
don't know.
exactly like learn from mistakes and what didn't work in the community and what did.
yeah.
Wouldn't it just be amazing if it was Lou in a blonde wig?
yeah.
No, it
Oh
wouldn't.
my god.
So good.
That would be great to see. Yeah,
And she was
Actually, we
and she
really
was
love
called
that.
Louise.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Louis.
Or Luann.
Perfect.
Elizonda.
Yeah,
And I definitely want to get.
Eloise.
Eloise Elizonda.
Femizonda.
What a name.
Yeah, really.
What I did want to speak about on this show. So with what's happening with Musk, it kind of inspired me a little bit as to thinking, all these guys, they launch like spacecraft into space. Lee's just been briefly speaking, guys, about a friend of his that he met. He met a new friend in the pub that used to launch satellites into space for SpaceX.
Wow.
And
Well,
Lee
he's got
asked, well, he just makes friends at the pub. He takes random strangers home.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
has
it
to
was
stop
weird
now. 'Cause he's
night.
got a girlfriend.
Something wrong with that?
Yeah, if I don't do anything with them, I could just collect them.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And if you're single,
There's nothing wrong with collecting people.
no. I got a few heads in my closet.
So
COVID
it
was
was
really lonely for you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Ollie, you were talking about.
yeah.
On the side, it was the side.
That was so fun.
I recorded
I
a
got
show.
that. That was good.
I recorded a show with Lee on Thursday, which was a fantastic show, and I think is it out next week, Lee?
It's out now on Musty Audio's podcast thing. So go find the link for the podcast in the description for this, and it will be on YouTube probably tomorrow. The only reason it's not uploading now is because I didn't want to screw with my bandwidth while we're doing this.
And that's when you told me about the guy from SpaceX. So, so he has no. He said we see them all the time on.
He said they've no idea. He said no idea what they are. And as far as he's concerned, and the people he speaks to in his field, they don't believe that they're anything that, well, he said, we have or any other government has.
And I trust you like a brother that I don't have.
Oh,
But,
no, yeah, I mean,
but
yeah.
did you look this guy's credentials up? Did you look him up on like LinkedIn or anything like that and see his
We
background?
went through, because I was interested in what he was doing. We went through like the photographs on his phone of
He's on Tinder.
his work and stuff. Yeah.
Grinder.
It was
Yeah.
actually Grinder. Yeah. Oddly enough, I was that excited talking to the guy at work, the guy I work with, about the conversation I had with this guy about UFOs and satellites and stuff like that. We started referring to him as my American boyfriend for the day. Sorry, Rich. But
So do you, with all this information, surely Musk knows what's going on.
No, by the sounds of it, they have no idea. They just know there's something fast. Like
surely.
The way he explained it from what they've seen on their instruments is, you are looking at something that starts there and goes really fast somewhere else and then disappears, and that's from where he is on the satellite side of things. That's what they know about it. And he even said to me, like, what I think we've said this before on this show, that if that technology was out there in sort of like the private sector, like be it or private or government sector, somebody like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos wouldn't be investing billions in solid fuel rockets if this was technology that was available to people.
See, that's what I can't get my head around. You know, when you've got a guy like Musk, who I think he's probably going to do something right by Twitter, and maybe with the whole media platform in general. But again, he's got to know. He's the main man of that company. He's launching rockets into space. He has to know something.
Let's always remember with this stuff, we're inferring the fact it's a craft. Like we've got hearsay and conjecture about this sort of thing, and because of what we're already interested in, we're inferring that this is a nuts and bolts craft. It could be a fucking animal for all we know, some sort of strange species that we've no idea that could dip in and out of reality. It could be weather phenomena, you know, or like I don't think the idea of like crop circles and stuff like that being frequency based weather phenomena is like completely out of the question.
Oh God, no.
You know, you see what happens when you put sand on speakers and put different hertz through them. It makes patterns, and they look like fucking crop circles. So there's no. I think sometimes we get so trapped in the idea of UFOs and extraterrestrials that nobody talks about possibilities for other things these things could be.
Absolutely.
Well, they don't. I mean, we do, though.
Oh, no, we do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad. And I think they don't owe Elon Musk anything or any answers, because they still have to keep that facade up that they don't know or have or possess this material. If they tell Elon Musk, maybe they'll tell him a little bit so he can make his rockets a little better, you know. I don't know, you're right. It doesn't, or he's right. It doesn't make any sense.
The only thing I'd say with that is it's the same reason why we have such rubbish politicians. Anyone that's intelligent goes into the private sector and becomes a CEO of a major company, and they make billions of dollars doing things, whatever it is in said company. Science would work exactly the same, I think. If you had people that were working on black projects that could take that technology to the private sector, you would have people defecting and disappearing and then getting paid ungodly sums of money to do it because that's where the money is.
Are we seeing this technology being used in the rockets coming in for a landing, taking off, reusable? Are we seeing anything
Maybe
that looks magical? No.
I like Elon, but I want to believe in some people. I don't want to believe that everything's like some sort of deep state controlled thing. But I don't believe he put a car into space.
That did look
No, I
awfully weird, didn't it? Didn't look right.
No.
Don't see any problems with that.
Do you have a problem with the mouse?
Oh yeah, the mouse.
I'd be a little more worried about the three convergent technologies he's pulling together at the moment. So you've got Starlink, you've got Neuralink, and now you've got Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of control for one person. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He earned it.
Good point.
They allowed it by law. He's doing. You're right. It's a lot of power. It's wild. Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's awfully strange.
Yeah.
He is a interesting individual.
I think he's funnier than hell. I saw him on Saturday Night Live. I
Yeah.
thought he had good, delivery for. It was so awkward. That's why. But he's a unique fellow, and he's always been strange. You know, when he was a kid, he was strange.
Isn't he autistic?
Yeah, I think he's on the spectrum for sure.
Oh right, yeah. I forgot.
Yeah.
Ollie, from Thursday, do you still have the photograph of his mother? Just for some.
Who doesn't?
No, just
Like, wait, that's in my personal repertoire.
Yeah, right.
Everyone.
Yeah. I've seen the
His
photo.
mom?
Yeah.
Mom?
Good lord. Interesting.
Seems weird. Seems odd, doesn't it? Seems odd.
I'm wildly aroused.
Yeah.
I think
Same.
it's right what Dave said though is
That's funny.
it's usually the guy behind the camera and whoever's telling him to do these pictures, and I think that's the thing. I actually think he's right with that. When all these celebrities that have the hand over the eye, I think it's the guy that's behind the camera. I think it's somebody who is saying, right, we want these pictures taken and we want so many of them. Make sure you get a hand behind an eye, you know?
It's too known now. It's too known. You couldn't just accidentally pull a celebrity up and say, we're just going to do like a couple of pictures. Maybe just stick your hand over your eye. Just like one hand.
No,
fine.
not a hand. Let's do a rose.
Yeah.
A rose of a twig
Yeah.
Put that picture back up.
sticking out of it.
Look at the top left. Why is that an eyeball on the outside of her
It's
hand?
like a pearl ring, I think. Like a pearl.
Is that looking through the the prism
she's
of
just-
life?
Yeah, some kind of pearl.
She's just wearing a ring, Rich. It's just a ring.
But it could be. Yeah, but the hand's
Could
over
be
the
filled with
eye.
cocaine. I'm just kidding.
Wait, I didn't hear what you said.
Maybe I shouldn't say it again.
I know it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
So what's up, Rich?
Hmm?
Where's your baby dog?
Oh, he's here. He's on the edge of the sofa there, just over.
What do you think
Hang
about Elon Musk? You think he's got too much power?
I think he's pulling a lot of information together. A lot of information. Twitter is huge in terms of the amount of information that you can pull in and use about what people are thinking, what people are feeling. An enormous amount of data. Then you've got Starlink. You've got you can build your own infrastructure. You don't need the internet if you've got Starlink, and you could deploy it.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
You
Guys,
could
we can hear
deploy
you
it all
talking.
over the planet.
In Musk's defense, and again, I'm not like a huge Musk apologist or anything like that. Like I said, I would like to believe in something like no, my fucking hollowed out husk of a soul. But let's not forget that he was the guy that basically turned around and said, "Look, all the messaging systems you're using are fucking spying on you," and gave us signal. So there was some sort of reasonably good messaging system that had end-to-end encryption, and he's just implemented the same type of end-to-end encryption on Twitter messages. So if that's just a play to say, look, I'm the good guy, then it's kind of worked on me. But I don't know. It's really strange. I don't quite know where I stand on it. All I do know is that I trust him slightly more than the 3 holding companies that were in control of Twitter.
Oh yeah.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. And I do think he has the best intentions. And I think he thinks sort of like 10 or 20 steps ahead of most people. So we might not even get a coherent reason for why he's doing all of this. But I don't think it'll be for anything particularly bad. He's done generally good things.
Do you think there's a chance? Sorry, Rich. Do you think there's a chance that he's kind of fell in love with the because when he first started doing the Tesla thing, he did he was likened to Tony Stark and stuff like that. I actually think the way he's acting is more like what if you look at Batman, how you have the stories of Thomas Wayne and the way he treated his fortunes before he died. Do you think he's in love with the idea of being this virtuous comic book philanthropist? I can't say that word.
Yeah. Well,
It's
do you
Phil.
remember?
His name is Phil Anthropist. That's how you remember.
Oh,
Do you remember those guys that got stuck down underwater in a cave?
Yes.
And he went and sent some diving equipment or some submarine to go to this mini submarine, and there was a diver there that said that it was next to useless.
Mm-hmm.
And he got very, very upset, didn't he?
Called him a pedo, I believe.
Yeah.
I remember that.
No
Yeah.
way.
And so
Goes right for that.
I think that those comments hit home to him. He values himself as some kind of savior.
Mm-hmm.
It's just brilliant that some diver don't like his invention. He goes, "Oh fuck off, you pedo."
Yeah.
Right.
Goes right for that.
Yeah.
That's unreal. That's
Must
Twitter.
be if you didn't like it.
That's how. Yeah. That's how Twitter is now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
True.
And it's
mean-
going to go back to the way it was, and it's going to help ufology in a huge way. We're going to get
You think?
a lot more eyes on us.
I was amazed I was shadow banned. I'd never checked before. I was amazed. I'm not anymore, which is nice.
You know,
You think was it
that's
Elon?
weird. I think I've been unshadow banned the last 2 days.
There's a conservative guy who was commenting on this guy called Zuby, a rapper, I think, or something like that. And he said since Musk took over, he's just had 50,000 followers added on just like that. Boom.
Well, it's more weird than that. The Zuby got 50,000 followers. Tucker Carlson gained 60,000 followers in a day. AOC lost over 100,000 followers.
Wow.
And it all went that way. All the conservatives gained. All the
Do you know why?
lefties.
That's bots. That.
Yeah.
Do you know why they're doing that?
Because they were artificially inflating the people that.
Well,
people
they're
wouldn't
trying
follow.
to cover their tracks, so when they get taken over, they can't see how they operated. That's why they can't see what they did, so they're trying to cover their tracks. Yeah.
And he's going to make the algorithm open source, which will be fantastic.
Oh, right.
Because
On.
that's what he was talking about, making the algorithm open source. Brilliant.
Oh, well, that's incredible because that means that things like Odyssey or these other separate platforms could actually have working search algorithms, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Rather than the you go on BitChute's a perfect example of it because some of the stuff on BitChute, there's some fucking crazy stuff there, but there's some really good stuff that used to be on YouTube that isn't on YouTube anymore. But finding it is an absolute nightmare.
Right.
Hard to use as well as a creator, I find.
Mm-hmm.
I were at a barbecue the other day.
What did you eat?
Actually, chicken.
Okay.
Nice.
And
Barbecue.
this was when
Ew. I just ordered barbecue the other day.
Sushi.
Barbecue what?
Yeah, sushi.
Right.
this is when Elon put the bid in for the percentage that he wanted to buy of Twitter. and I got in a good conversation with my really good pal who he's really religious, and I talk to him about Elon quite often when we have meet up with drinks, and I said, "What do you think to Elon buying it?" And he said he thinks Elon's the Antichrist, and I laughed, and he
I
went,
said
"No,
that last night.
oh, did you?" Well, no, well,
yeah.
I laughed, and he said, "No, I'm being serious. I think he's disguising it very well, and he's gonna get all you guys on board, and before you know it, you're fucked."
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. Rich brought up the point before about what he's connected with now with like Neuralink, and now he's bought like a social media platform
And
like
SpaceLink.
and space and like
Yeah.
the stuff he's doing.
Starlink,
in
yeah.
Starlink.
Yeah.
SpaceLink.
I mean, we don't know his intentions yet, so it could be the case that he's just a wolf in sheep's clothing. We don't know yet. I guess we'll have to see how it plays out, but I don't think he's the Antichrist as such. But
No,
you know, his
intentions.
intentions, we're not really sure what they are yet. You know,
Yeah.
so I guess we'll have to see.
I mean, I'm a big fan. I always have been. I've always liked him, and like my wife, she doesn't understand it, and I says it's just it's just the rocket thing, love. I like the rockets, but but now it's more than that. At the beginning, it was all about that, but I do think there's something about this guy that just I feel he's like a hero, you know. That's how he comes
Don't
across.
put him on a pedestal. Haven't you learned? Let's not do that to anybody.
Well, this is true. This is true.
Yeah.
Just me, Ollie. Do it to me.
I need a hero, you know. I do.
Don't we
I
all?
need one in my life.
I can
Not-
be your
not
hero,
next year.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
so
Tony Stark though. Yeah, see that.
yeah, so that much information owned by one person, and I hope he's got the right governance in place, and it's not just him on his own pulling it all together. That would be the thing, and just making sure that the right checks and balances are in place.
It's almost like we're allowing the creation of supervillains between people like him, Klaus Schwab, Zuckerberg. It's like we're creating Bond villains, but we don't have any fucking superheroes or Bond to fight them.
Here's what I was thinking about the other day. In terms of like Bezos, Elon Musk, are we kind of seeing the start of like a breakaway civilization?
I think we're seeing the beginning of a new ruling class.
Yeah.
Like the you know, when you look at like real like dystopian films like Blade Runner and stuff, it's or even Demolition Man, because like if you take like the Demolition Man story away, there's a real realistic like visualization of where our civilization could go. It's always owned by corporations, isn't it? It's always owned by corporations. It's like governance seems to be whatever government is there. It's run more like a corporation than governments or a democracy type thing. So
yeah, that's because Hollywood's full of Democrats.
Yeah.
So it's evil corporations. It always is.
Evil corporations and full. It's full on socialism most of the time, isn't it? These things, but I can see a time coming where aren't Apple already building? Is it Apple or Google that are making the town?
I think it's Google.
Is it Google?
Google Town.
Is it Google that's doing it? I know Disney's making a town, aren't they? Disney Story Living. That sounds like a fucking nightmare.
That does sound like a nightmare. From what you described there, that sounds terrifying.
Yeah, you have Disney characters that live amongst you, and
that's creepy as hell.
That's really
sounds awful.
I won't be taking the kids.
Sounds
there.
like a pedo paradise, but yeah.
Yeah. But I can see this being a thing where in maybe not a decade's time, but maybe 30 years, that these towns of expanded into cities, and then it's not like you said, trying to work out, am I going to get an Android phone or am I going to get an Apple phone? When you're looking at places to live, it's do I go and live in a Google city or an Apple city? And you end up going to either or, depending whether you like fucking Windows or iOS.
Yeah.
Will you need to live in a certain city though, if we all sort of live virtually, and then you can live anywhere you want?
I would agree with you no, but everything points to the fact that these people want to push us into large civilizations, like centers. So I think there's more chance of it being sort of 3 or 4 mega cities over an entire country than it is like us sitting in wooden huts, like living our best lives.
Lee, help me out here. What's that? Jennifer, thank you for the £5. I appreciate that. What's that say? Elon has stopped the dependence on Russia to build engines which can, help me out here, Lee.
As he said, be built in 24 hours.
Me over again.
And the cruise to the ISS.
Has he done that? Single-handedly?
To build engines. No, engines aren't built in Russia. Don't think so.
Well, that's what she said. He stopped our dependence on Russia to build engines, which, as he said, can be built in 24 hours and sends crews to the ISS. He does all that. He did all that.
Right. Build engines out of the rockets. So we were using Russian technology. And the Ariane as well.
Yes, I get it. Yeah, rightly so.
Yeah, got it now.
I mean, his rockets, they are the best rockets out there. I don't see any other rockets that can land vertically like that.
It still looks fake to me.
You think it's fake, Rich?
No, it's real, but it sure looks fake.
You never watched the Thunderbirds? It was brilliant.
Yes, I have.
It's just like the Thunderbirds.
It is.
Yeah,
I know. That's why I see a cartoon.
Used to love that show, Thunderbirds, when I was a kid.
I did.
Totally.
It's brilliant. FAB.
Never seen the Thunderbirds.
I'm gonna
You
Google
need to see
it.
it.
I think it's you can watch it on YouTube.
Basically.
He's more of a Captain Scarlet person.
Captain Scarlet as well.
See, I never heard of that.
That was good.
Face.
I just have the outfit. I'm pretty
my
sure I
God,
had a
these are
Captain
so
Scarlet
creepy
outfit as a
looking.
kid.
You
I
used
like-
to watch this?
I'll tell you what I liked.
Yes.
The later one, the
Psycho
Terrorhawks.
Barbies.
Mm.
Or
Oh
Terrorhawks,
yeah, I
really.
forgot about that.
Rich has got a touch of a Captain Black about him, actually.
Pardon?
Yeah, the villain.
No, it's okay. That's fine. In this context, Captain Black is fine.
Yeah, Josh Rich is a villain though in this field.
Well,
I am.
Well, this is the thing. He's not the villain.
I know.
And this is the thing I've noticed. It's like the people who are seen as the villains aren't. They're the people who are telling the truth.
That is
Yeah.
1,000,000% accurate.
Yeah, you only see
Why is that?
because you're not confirming everybody's beliefs. You're not catering to just giving people what they want to hear instead of what they need to hear.
Yeah,
It's about consolidation of power.
It's amazing to me that there isn't a point of view that is talked about like what we talk about. You'd think it would be rampant, as much as people believe.
I think people are starting to switch their opinion on things like Lou now. I have seen a bit of a change. It's not fully accepted yet that Lou might be telling porkies, but I think people are starting to wake up to the fact that he might not be truthful. I mean, the longer it goes on without the evidence provided, then the more questions are going to start getting raised, and the less patience that we're all going to have for to wait for answers from someone like Lou. So the longer it goes on, the worse it's going to get, really, for Lou's
people think
way of doing things.
Yeah, and they think because he worked in the government that he's this trustful guy. It's weird.
Yeah.
Why do we trust the government all of a sudden?
This worship of people in the government and the CIA and places like that. It's always strange to me how we're kind of believing everything these guys say. Just look at the history of the CIA, for example, with things like the Mockingbird and things like this, where they planted operatives within the journalism world to promote fake news. That's confirmed. So who's to say that's not going on right now as well?
What was it I was listening to the other day? I think the idea behind it was called Operation Mindfuck, and the idea behind it was that from the, I want to say 50s, that slowly conspiracy theories that were like completely fabricated were just slowly pumped out into newspapers, into public consciousness, and then that drifted off into internet to where we are now, where everything's rampant. And the idea was to just make everything seem unbelievable because there was so much misinformation and lies out there that you didn't know from. So I think maybe the like flat Earth stuff might be the perfect example of this.
Mm-hmm.
You just wonder how much of the stuff we talk about that we feel we're doing good talking about, maybe it's complete fucking nonsense.
Complete bollocks. Yeah. That's what I've kind of been thinking about the last few days, really. Like, is it all just rubbish? And we've all kind of, all these stories just shared and regurgitated over and over again throughout all these years, and it's basically like a big game of Chinese whispers, really. And I don't know what's true and what's not now, so it's hard. It is hard.
Josh, are you talking about the entire field altogether?
Yeah, I am. Like,
he's lost a lot of hope.
I think I've just changed, because I used to be like one of these people who would love to speculate about all this stuff and would love to think of all like the possibilities of what it could be, but my reasoning's kind of flipped, really. The last year especially, I think what's happened like with Lou and how he's kind of taken over the mainstream view of what UFOs are, I think it's kind of, I don't even know the word, but I haven't lost hope, but I've just lost my heart for the topic.
Well, let me ask you this, Josh, since you were a huge fan of Lou at one time.
Well, I wouldn't say huge fan.
Okay,
so only a bit, but we did like him at one point, where we had hope in him a little bit anyway.
Well, what did you see that made you think he contributed positively to the cause?
Well, I was talking about this with Artemis today. I don't think it was Lou specifically, but I think what they did was very clever by putting it into the COVID bill, the UFO, like they're going to release the UFO report within 180 days. I think that was done purposely within COVID. I mean, you're playing on people's minds where they've been isolated for like a year or so.
But they did it so they can get the funding for it.
Yeah, and they knew that if they did it through COVID, because people are isolated, because people are lacking any sort of enthusiasm, or they haven't got anything fun in like their lives because they're in like a lockdown. That's why it was released during COVID, in my opinion, to prey on that kind of mindset and get these people on board. And I fell for it. I did like I didn't fall for Lou, but I fall for what Lou was.
That's gonna get clipped up.
I didn't fall for Lou himself, but I fell for the fact that I fell for what he was saying, which is very easy to do because Lou, he's a trained counterintelligence guy. This is like his job, is to mass manipulate people, play both sides as well. He's probably playing both sides. I mean, we've all heard about the sock accounts. He's probably got all sorts of sock accounts, in favor of Lou and against Lou as well, and playing all of this, behind the scenes. That sounds like a conspiracy, but I don't think it is. I really don't.
He's already admitted to
well, he has said it about his sock accounts. But I just think that like the longer time goes on, he's just going to get found out because he can't bring anything to the table.
The weird thing is, I want to believe him too. I understand what I see, but I don't like the results, because it looks like he's trying to get the truth or some semblance of it, to let us see a UFO, but we're not seeing anything. We haven't seen any transmedium craft. We haven't seen any 90-degree turns. We haven't seen the thing that's 50 feet from the cockpit. We haven't seen the 27-minute video that's high def. We haven't even seen the tic tac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see what Fravor saw.
I mean,
And-
here's like the weird thing for me. I mean, he keeps preaching about this threat, but we're not allowed to know what this threat is.
Well, it's
I
the
mean,
threat
that's
that they're
like-
coming into our airspace, secured airspace, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. And that's, you don't know what they can do.
Well,
But
isn't
it's just
that's
blatant
military.
manipulation, though. If like we're not allowed to know what this is, then it's
That's
just creating
a good
fear.
point.
It's just creating fear for literally, it's just like the fear of the unknown. That's what he's playing on.
Yes, yeah, and it is. It is. That's what the military does. We pay
Yeah.
them to do that. All countries do.
well,
The thing,
what's- yeah.
and it worked. I'm sorry, one more point.
It's
I'll
all right.
be quiet. I walked on the beach of Santa Monica, at third phase of moon, and we were asking people, and I have the video up. Do you know what UAP stands for? And then, we got strange replies like, are we at war with aliens? Like, are they coming to kill us? It's like, that's what you got out of what Lou said. The threat, everybody thought there was this threat that aliens were coming to attack us. That's what they did.
But only a threat to the United States as well. Remember, nowhere else in the world.
Well, that's,
It's just
well,
to the US. It's a threat to.
believe it or not, 85% of sightings are over the United States.
But isn't
No,
that
I've
also
done-
strange? Why?
Because we have all the
I just-
technology.
Yeah.
It's our stuff.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's why.
Exactly.
It's obvious. All the sightings are
It's
here.
obvious.
Why
It's
wouldn't
so
it be?
obvious. It's so obvious to us. It really is.
It is.
Isn't it
No,
one
that's-
of the, is
yeah.
but what
Sorry.
gets me a little bit now is didn't one of the either witnesses or the radar operators or something say that they were seeing them just about every day, and they were flying in and flying out, and there was hundreds of them. Well, how the hell hasn't anybody else seen them? Why is it just
Exactly.
these people? Why aren't we seeing them when we're on our ferries across the thing? Why aren't we seeing them when we are in planes flying across transatlantic?
Exactly.
Do you want to? The other
More.
one you could say there is for if you've got these things being seen on aircraft carriers, like on a daily basis. On a daily basis, you can go on TikTok and watch soldiers doing TikTok dances on the top of aircraft carriers and stuff like that. When they're off duty. That means all these people have mobile phones. So you're telling me one of those soldiers hasn't decided to like take a photograph of one of these things.
Thank
and
you.
post it.
Yeah, not even once.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Honestly, when
What a
like
point.
you lay it all out and just lay it all out, it doesn't make sense.
And they're meant to be seeing them every day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For 2
you'd think at least
years.
One day they
2
wouldn't
years.
be practicing their TikToks for a second.
That's so unreal, dude. That's a great point.
But didn't you say, Lee, that your SpaceX guy was seeing them all the time?
He said they see stuff on on radar all the time. Like
On radar.
they get things ping up, not visually with their eyes because they're not out there seeing these things, but they see things that move at incredible speeds, and that's what I mean. Like they don't have to be solid objects. They don't have to be like
No.
alien cars.
Could it just be like a plasma, like a radar thing? I mean, they have been trying to work on that false targets for radar using like plasma and things like
Yeah,
that.
lasers,
It-
laser-induced
it could be
plasmas.
something like that as well. We don't know, but
But it's intelligent,
Yeah.
so they say. How come we can't ever just get a still photo of a UFO?
Just one.
Just a still. Like, how can China and Russia get any data from the still of a UFO? Well, we can see how the propulsion worked here. We see a hatch over there. I mean, nothing's like that unless it is like that.
There's loads.
And
of
we
pic-
just don't know because we've never
Rich,
seen
Rich,
it. Huh?
There's loads. Loads of good quality pictures.
Where?
of UFO.
Show me.
Scott C. Waring's channel.
Shut up. Now that's a hoaxing channel right there.
well, if you go into
That's
the
the
Skinwalker
Inquirer
Ranch
ufology.
site as well, there's some photos on there, some UFO stuff
Some
on there too. The Skinwalker
visible
Ranch
dogs.
site. There's some photos on there too.
Really excited to talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, Skinwalker.
Can't wait. Yeah.
Skinwalker Ranch. Rich, you're not a fan, are you?
Oh God, no. No way.
Would you
Hate it.
stay there on your own?
Yeah, I would stay there all the time. I'd move there. Nothing's happening. Bring it on.
It's like
I've
the
been
Loch Ness
strangled by
monster.
the devil. Huh?
It's like the Loch Ness monster.
It is
It's a
like
nice
the Loch
tourist thing.
Yeah.
Ness. There's the evidence.
Yeah.
I was a fan of Skinwalker Ranch until Bigelow went on Rogan and came across as a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually posted some clips from that last night. I watched that back last night. I posted some clips on Twitter today of Joe Rogan and Bigelow going back and forth about like standards of evidence and stuff about trying to prove the afterlife. It was actually quite a good debate, to be honest. But it just kind of shows like the mindset of somebody like him who kind of wants to believe everything.
And
You know,
like,
it's,
and Joe
Yes.
Rogan
Yeah.
like said that he's like, yeah, but you want to believe. That's the difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're kind of looking through like rose-colored glasses, sort of thing, at the topic. You're not.
Well, you're
really,
going into it with preconceived like notions of what to expect. That's what people are doing.
So,
and hope.
so does
and stuff.
right. But does that mean we don't want to believe?
Of course not. Like
Right.
I want to
Yeah.
believe. Like I want to believe all this stuff's real, but
It's true.
you know, we need to live in like a reality at times too, and try and stick to like the facts too. And it's good to speculate about all this stuff, but you know, we do need to kind of get down to like the facts at times too. And the fact is, we don't know what's going on at Skinwalker. We've never been shown anything of any sort of proof really of what's going on there. The only thing we've got is a TV show to go on. That's it.
And season 3 starting any day.
Yeah, there's a good comment here that I think might be good for conversation.
That's a good
Question: does the panel believe aliens are visiting Earth? Lazier.
Yeah, we got our own.
Yeah, never mind. I'm not sure anymore. I don't know.
I don't-
want to believe that they are, but I really don't know. I think most of what we see, at least, is ours and testing on ourselves or each other. But I don't know.
I don't think aliens visit. I believe we might have. There might be probes. I think we might be being watched, but they don't have to be around to watch us or observe us. You know, they could be all over the
Most still in
place.
the same category, at least. They're still connected to Earth in some way. Or
I'll tell you.
connecting to us.
Today, I believe that aliens visit Earth because of the school children that have seen them come out of the craft. A lot of stories where the aliens are seen walking around the outside of their crafts, but who knows? I don't know if there's some hallucinogen that's put into the air to make people see things. And then they transmit it.
High.
I mean, there could...
Sorry, I was just going to say
go
about
ahead.
the school kids. I know it's a really good case that it's with them all reporting the same thing, but doesn't it just show how sketchy information and evidence is when we rely on a class full of school children
To tell us what's up.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't even get my son to tell me what he had for lunch.
There were teachers who saw it too, Lee. You know,
Are you talking about the Australian case, or are you talking about
Yeah.
the Zimbabwe case?
I thought you meant the Zimbabwe one.
Because Zimbabwe, no teachers
Yeah,
saw.
if the Zimbabwe case, no grown-ups saw it. It's just a handful of children. But I've been doing a bit of a deep dive on that one the last few weeks, and if you compare the investigations of Cynthia Hind, who went there originally before John Mack did, it paints a completely different picture to what John Mack's version of events was. Like the school children, they drew like beings with not beings like people, I guess, with like long hair and sunglasses on. I think there's one where there's like a person sat on top of like a camper van. And it's interesting because during that time, I think I brought this up with you, Rich, on like our show, but Rastafarians, they were like banned in South Africa. At that time, it was like legal to be a Rastafarian in South Africa. And while that event was going on, the like craft at that school, landed, there was actually a Rastafarian band who were playing in the same area.
No way.
And people think like the school children might have seen someone from that band who had long hair, and they couldn't really,
and, like sunglasses,
and it didn't
stuff.
make sense to them. You know, they might have saw like a silver camper van, for example, in like the woods, and they just kind of didn't know what to make of it. I mean, that's like another theory what I've heard as well.
Who came up with all that again? What was her name?
Cynthia Hind was the original investigator. Then I think it was about a month later, John Mack came and interviewed the kids. But the interesting thing about that is as well, you know, people keep talking about the message, what the children got, you know, that would, you know, the stuff what we have is bad for like the environment. But that was only when John Mack went there. If you look at the investigation from Cynthia Hind, none of that was talked about at all. So it's only when John Mack was
I didn't
there.
know that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of inconsistencies with that case, for sure.
That's Zimbabwe, right?
Yeah.
I do like those cases, though.
Oh, same.
Oh,
it's my favorite case.
favorite case
Definitely my favorite
of-
case, without a doubt.
Yeah,
You know,
Something happened. Something went down
something
there.
definitely happened. The
Yeah.
kid definitely saw something. It's just, it might not be
That's
what
wild.
we all hope it to be.
And it was next to like a uranium mine, is that right? Or a plutonium mine, that school? Something like that.
was
Which
it?
is interesting. Yeah. I think it's right next to a uranium mine or plutonium
Wow.
mine. So that's
Yeah,
my pretty
yeah.
good
know that.
theory.
Uranium's mined, plutonium's enriched. You
Right,
don't mind
yeah.
plutonium.
It'll be a uranium one then.
Yeah.
I have a question on the back of that. Not another UFO show. Are you another UFO show? Is this guy another channel? I don't know.
But I
Let us know if you're another channel. We'll go subscribe. But on the back of that question,
if he's
I don't.
good,
I think he's gonna be good, Rich. Of course he's good. He's
Don't
got the gift. On the back of that question, I will say one thing. I do stand by my little logo, and I think that is real. 100%.
nah.
I think
Looks legit.
I think the alien grey is real. I think that
Is a thing.
I think it's a thing, definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
100%.
I agree with that. I think it's a thing. I just don't believe that any of these things we're seeing are coming from different planets.
Yeah.
Do you think that alien abductions are real?
Oh.
I mean, there've been stories of malevolent forces essentially torturing and playing with humanity for centuries. So I don't see why this wouldn't just be a further extension of that.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Or it's just how our brain, when we go to sleep, reboots itself, heals itself. It morphs pictures and things that, maybe, and it's stories, and maybe people who've seen something, even people who haven't. It's weird. They have visions of seeing these aliens in their abduction stories, but I think they're just dreams because I've had them. And
I've had wild dreams for a few years.
I have woken up with marks on my body, and they shouldn't have been there. And yeah, it's crazy shit. So how does that happen? How do you wake up with a burn mark under the shirt you're wearing without your shirt being burned? And you're sleeping.
Did you fall asleep with the joint? Just kidding.
No,
I had
don't
this
smoke
theory
in
the
bed.
other day. We were watching what show was it again? Darren Brown.
Yeah.
Darren Brown was watching, and he basically faked. I'm sure that you guys have seen it in like the UK, but where he faked like that zombie apocalypse.
Yep.
And he like hypnotized somebody to believe that there was like a zombie
that's
apocalypse, and he literally thought it was all a dream the next day. I mean, could that be going on? Some sort of like program within like the military, kind of like taking people, planting false information, and then just is that a possibility? That's crazy to me, but
it's a lot of work, right?
yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, but it looked like a lot of work just for that one episode.
Yeah.
So many people involved, so many actors had to be there.
See,
Well,
I've been hypnotized before, and
Never know.
I struggle with that Darren Brown zombie
What if you're
thing.
still hypnotized? None of us are here.
I remember going under, and I remember doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like making a fool out of myself, but I knew what I was doing. I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I knew what I was doing.
That's so
What kind of
weird.
stuff were you doing?
I was showering, like pretending to have a shower and things like that. And this is a true story. I was 15 years old, no, 16, because I was about to leave school, and my maths teacher said I shouldn't really be doing this, but he said I'm gonna show you guys something. So the whole class is a volunteer. Put my hand up. He says, right, do you want to be hypnotized? I says, yeah. So he hypnotized, and he did. I remember feeling some sort of weird. It was a strange feeling, almost like, you know, when you're trying to stop yourself go to sleep, and you are really tired, and you're watching a film and you feel your eyes, like it's almost like that vibration. I remember feeling that, and I wasn't, and when I actually awoke, I did feel really refreshed. But I remember, I can't understand how anybody can say, right, you won't remember anything from that. I don't get that. Because I don't think anybody could hypnotize me to that level. And I definitely was hypnotized. Speaking of hypnotized, this man hypnotizes me with his handsome face. DarkHour Paranormal, Michael.
Hey.
What's up, everyone?
Hey, man.
Mustafazul.
I figured, I'd take a moment to drop in, see what you gents and ladies are up to and on about,
The accent's great. Like
That's
thanks.
Australian, isn't it?
Sometimes people go into the Australian
We all
sort of
carry
thing.
on.
I hope my
Just
mouth
turn
a little bit
off
too
the-
wide.
the show.
That's a
Sorry, didn't mean to crash the party. Continue on with whatever you were
You look
talking
like
about.
you're in a nice cabin, and I'm jealous.
No, Michael, you can give us your 2 pence worth. So we started with Elon Musk. We've gone on to aliens, and now we're on. I think
Abduction.
we're on abduction. Yeah,
Abductions.
but I'm going to bring it back to Musk for you, because that was the original thumbnail. So he's got Twitter now. But I asked the question in the beginning of the show. A guy like that, and I know there's the players like NASA, there's Bezos, and there's Bigelow, but a guy like that and the other guys, do you think they will know what's going on in the skies when it comes to aerial phenomena?
I think as much as anybody can sort of surmise, and when it comes to that question, that they're going to make their own intellectual conclusions, if you will, independently, based on what they know, based on their research, and perhaps whatever they've been privy to know within certain government factions. The interesting thing about Elon Musk, and I don't know if this is something that's actually shared in way of perception of him, but certainly has been expressed in the past. He's sort of the teenager of the group, in the sense, right? The loose wheel, the one who has that sort of rebellious edge. So I mean, I think it's interesting you bring up very quickly that he had picked up Twitter. Here's a guy who's not really for censorship the way that it's been implemented on him. So we'll see what happens with that. But it sort of plays into the idea that maybe a person like Elon would be a little bit more transparent. And I think the way he holds himself, presents himself, sort of lends to this credence to some degree. Of course, time will tell whether he can give us as much as he knows, or if he starts hinting at things like Donald Trump did throughout all those questions that he was posed in his tenure. But you know what? Out of the 3 you just mentioned, Branson, Bezos, and Musk here, I honestly would have to side with Musk, saying that this is probably the person that, if he has knowledge, he will do whatever he can to bring it as far into the public knowledge or awareness, I should say, as possible.
Because we have the guy, is it Bill? I forgot his
Bill Nelson.
surname.
Bill Nelson.
Wild Bill.
The NASA guy.
Bill
Yeah.
Nelson.
Bill Nelson.
And
Bill Nelson.
that to me just seemed very. I didn't trust that. I really didn't trust that speech about the Navy guys and the UFOs and what they are. It just seemed a little bit like it just been, here you go. We want this is the brief. Bang that out.
So
Well,
do you think that the pilots are in on it then, Ollie?
Do you remember when you very first saw David Fravor and I believe it was on Fox News.
Oh
and
yeah, with like where he stood there like a statue. Yeah.
No.
and it looked like he was just reading a piece of paper. It looked like if you put me in and told me to read the Bible, I'd be fucked.
Yeah.
Because your hands would burn and
This is true.
He's set on fire, that's for sure.
So would I.
But then
Me three.
if you remember, and I sound like a broken record here, and it's probably nothing. Me and Rich have argued back and forth with this, but when you saw Fravor then go on TTSA in the interview, I did a video about it. It's not in the description, but you can find it. I can't find it. There's about 19 cuts. It's Fravor talking about his experience, but you can see the little cuts in between, but it flows very well. So it's like they kept cutting that up. There's something amiss.
Yeah.
Maybe Fravor did see something. I don't believe that Mick West is right and a pilot has mistaken this. I don't believe that. I don't think a pilot would do that. I think a fighter pilot would know the difference.
Here's a question for you, Ollie. What do you think of the disturbance on the water when Fravor describes the Tic Tac and there's like that disturbance on like the water? Do you think that's some sort of USO, I guess, or do you think that's just a byproduct of like the craft itself?
You mean, I mean, the way he describes it, in my head, I picture a mothership. The excited part of the UFO part of me pictures a mothership.
No,
the whole story falls apart for me.
Somebody's
now.
microphone is moving and it's making a lot of noise.
It's Rich. Rich's.
So I've just muted it for a second. Yeah.
I was going to say David Fravor described the disturbance on the water as if there was a submarine that just submerged or is like depressurizing, like the bubbles, and it was just a lot of movement, and the object went there. Yeah. So it was already there, and the object went over it, and then he said it was acting like a ping pong ball in a glass. Like if you did this and it go, it's going all over the place. That's weird.
But he didn't say it was like a ping pong ball in a glass to that under the water. He just said he saw something in the water, and it was. I imagine that to be something completely different.
But then he said the Tic Tac started moving left, right, up, down like a ping pong ball in a cup over that area, over that disturbed area. And then he said, it was doing this, and I was following. It was counter moving when I was doing this, and then the thing just took off. I know, I've watched it many, many, many times. It looks like he's lying, but he's not. That's just the way the guy talks. Mm-hmm. But now, let's not forget.
If Lou's lying, and he's linked so heavily with Lou and so heavily with the... Because let's not forget that this ride started, or for me anyway, watching Tom DeLonge make an idiot of himself on Rogan.
The microphone's got to stop. I can't do this. Whose is that?
No idea.
You guys don't hear that microphone going. Brr, brr, brr.
Is that me typing?
It might be Artemis. She's typing.
You're typing. Yeah, you should mute when you type.
Yeah.
Always mute when you type.
For once, it's not me.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay.
That was unbelievable.
But yeah,
it's so funny.
Yeah, I used to work in an office. I type really fast, so.
But if we're going from the beginnings of like TTSA to the like Corbell documentary coming out to Fravor coming out after that, these things were all linked with each other. So I feel if Lou's lying, then retroactively, the rest of it might be misinformation as well, including Fravor.
It filters down. It filters down from Lou and TTSA and people like that. And that's the thing. It's like what to believe. I was going to ask this before, but has there been another detailed description of Artemis. The Tic Tac before, as in like another event? As like there been another similar event like the Tic Tac which is being described? in that much detail before, or not. I'm not sure.
Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, now let's not forget about Fravor. 6 months, only 6 months after the Tic Tac event happened, he was in 6 episodes on a documentary about the Navy.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, you know, this guy already had TV experience.
media
Don't you
training,
think
yeah.
that's a little interesting that he would see the Tic Tac and he would have the story? And has anybody seen any video of the Tic Tac yet? I say no, because it's a made up story. There's 10 people that are actors in this whole thing. And that's it. 10. You could have a really good lie with 10 people that are really tight knit.
How far before, Rich? Before the Tic Tac story came out?
6 months later.
Is that before the Tic Tac
After
story
the Tic Tac
completely
event.
came out?
No, after I said after it happened. So in 2005, David Fravor was in a documentary.
Okay. Could David Fravor, well, he could have told somebody in the media, somebody in the know on this documentary about this event, and that's how it's come to light?
I guess anything's possible. It went through all the proper channels to get released, right?
I don't know.
Lou got the documentation. Lou got it approved.
Yeah, but who approached who first?
Yeah.
It's such a gray area. Such a gray area.
According to, I think the story is that Lou, working in ATIP, knew about it or something like that. And then wanted to get more information on it. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. But then didn't DeLong have something to do with that too?
You see, these are great questions that never get asked to Lou, ever.
Yeah.
I can't remember. There is a timeline, obviously, and I should remember, but I can't right now. I'll figure it out.
Even just drawing DeLong into it, if you think back to that, like the horrible video that he made Rogan's show, you know, the triangle,
TR3B.
Yeah. So at some point, because if there's anything I do believe, it's that Tom DeLonge believed what he was saying.
Yeah.
I don't think he's smart enough to lie.
He's one of those believers, everything.
Yeah. And because of whoever it is that told him that video on YouTube that was clearly a CGI UFO, whoever told him that was real, did so to draw him in and to get him on board with this.
He posted that again a few weeks ago when the war with Russia was starting to happen. Like, he posted the same thing again, the TR3B.
Did he post it with live from Ukraine?
Yeah.
God. No, that was a different video, I thought.
No, it's the same one.
Really?
Same one. Wow. TR3B.
Oh, wow.
And he made some sort of connection between. He just basically told him to watch out because we've got this behind the scenes. Something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing.
Man.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Well, I'll give him that. He's sticking to his guns.
Yeah, he's committed. Committed.
Should be.
I don't care what anybody says. People are in the skies, how many hours out of their lives? I mean, yes, for many years, we know for a fact that, they were asked to be quiet about certain sightings and that they were asked to lie or exaggerate to, defer any sort of interest. And again, this has come out as a public statement recently wherein they've, really acknowledged that this was the case. So, I mean, there's obviously dynamics that happen behind the scenes, especially with pilots and those who traverse our airways. And we don't really know the extent of their NDAs, even insofar as what they may have explained to us. The fact that we're getting anything from some of these people, knowing how deeply ensconced or involved they've been with certain governments and certain actions in way of military, it's really interesting to see. And it makes you wonder, even though they know they can't give you more than 1/16 of the truth, maybe they're hoping some of these, and I'm not saying everybody here, of course, maybe some of them are thinking that, hey, we're planting this seed, maybe we've given it enough to grow, and future information that we trickle through can be that water and help it grow. Maybe they're seeing what we call an immediate disclosure as something much more prolonged, as we've also sort of surmised. but at the same time, it's more purpose and intentful.
Yeah, because it's only been 80 years. Why not? What's another 80?
These people, right? I mean, if you think about how far our technology is ahead in way of the military that we've discussed many times, it's a very long window to look at in way of years, and yet to them it just seems to be nothing because they've got that technology that spans that type of time.
Yeah. So what magical alien reverse technology do we have? What did I just say technology twice for? What technology do we have 4 times? That's from aliens. Does anybody want to tell me?
That's the $1 million question, but whatever's in our skies, and if you can't sit there and tell me every single one of those are aliens, I mean, I'm playing a devil's advocate to a degree here, Rich. Then obviously we have something that we're not, as a public, aware of.
Interesting. All interesting. Now, another thing that bothers me about this narrative they're spitting out is that we've already had disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel like it to you? Because that's what they're saying. I haven't seen an alien, haven't seen reverse technology, haven't seen free energy.
Geez, we haven't even seen like a 4K video.
Seen nothing. We've got
nothing.
Seen
420.
Nothing at all.
No, it's
seriously.
somewhere.
Yeah, just to flip things around a little. If we think about if all this is a hoax, then what are they trying to do? What are they trying to do? Are they trying to take all the free thinkers and all the people that challenge the narrative and push them down one direction?
Nope. It's all about money, funding, military. That's it. Everything is for the protection and to be number one in the world. That's what it is. All
they're already
ego
number
and
one
power.
by an order of magnitude.
I don't believe the U.S. government have to make up stories of UFOs to have to put more funding.
Absolutely, you're right. You are right.
Whoa, really? They barely got that thing passed. I mean, that was amazing. They even got it.
I bet there's money that goes to military projects that no one even sees. It's just written off. The money is invented and then just given away to do these projects.
That's what happened in 2001. Where did $2.3 trillion go?
Yeah. So why would we need to
You have to play the game. You have to get the citizens of your country, wherever you're at, to go along with it, because people are going to look into it. And if you have a lot of people believing it and falling for it, and now there's these stories that people are seeing aliens and being abducted and all these sightings all over and even the world, well, that gives them a lot of leeway on how to hide stuff in plain view. So if there's a crash that happened, they could say, oh, we saw a UFO landing. We got it on video. They're going to get that camera. They're going to shut that video down on YouTube, and they're going to say it was a plane crash. So all that they've got a way to do it, and they don't care if it's aliens. They're all about ego, but they're going to let their ego be idiot. I can't talk anymore. I quit. Somebody help me out.
The one that really makes me feel funny is the one where they're talking about Havana syndrome, and they seem to be trying to do a dotted line into aliens. And I said, well, it's funny if the aliens are just after Americans abroad and nobody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Didn't Biden say a couple of days ago that Congress needs to have more oversight for drone incursions? I think he said that the other day, didn't he? Biden.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Biden wants to set up another ministry for truth as well, a disinformation office.
Yeah.
One thing I will say on the back of Tom DeLonge's footage, though, is that triangle. I don't know about everybody else here, but I must have had about 7 guests that claim that they've seen a triangle, 5 of which very believable. I do believe that they saw something. My dad saw something out at sea. He didn't. I asked him if it was a triangle. He had no idea what the shape was. It was that fast. But Rich, Josh, Artemis, DarkHour, and Lee, I know you've dabbled. You've had the odd person on your show that's talked about UFOs. Have you guys? You spoke to people that have seen this black triangle before?
No,
100%.
no. I mean, we've heard from people who've seen stuff. I mean, I'm sure you've heard about that private StreamYard thing we had. You know, the thing what was described to us on there was the cube within a sphere thing, or like the sphere within a cube, or whatever it was.
Yeah, I've heard about this before. Apparently, that's what a lot of those Navy guys, if you got up close, there was some of those cubes with spheres inside them.
Yeah. And there was some Russian audio attached to this sighting, what we were told about, which was interesting.
Wow.
But yeah,
Did you see
not
anything?
sure. Sorry, Rich, what are you saying?
On that video, was it a video with the sphere and the cube? Is that what you saw?
Yeah, I mean, from what it was described to,
We didn't get to see it.
we didn't get to
It
see
was
it. It was just
the
like
person who hosted the stream.
yeah,
was the one who saw it.
he basically got showed this footage when Lou was in London doing some work, and he showed some people this stuff behind the scenes apparently. I don't know if it's classified or if it's publicly available, because I have spoken to people since then who've said that the video wasn't classified. It's been online before, apparently.
What, a video of a cube with a sphere inside it?
Yeah, apparently it's public
apparently.
somewhere. It's not like a classified file. But I've been trying to find it since. But I've spoken to people behind the scenes who have confirmed it as well, that's what they've seen too. It's not just that person we were told. Like, some other people have verified that they've been shown the same thing too. So I forgot the question, Ollie, to be honest. What's the question?
No, the question is basically it's the TR3B. But sorry, Travis, I know you don't like to call
if
it
we
that.
know anybody who's seen a triangle or who claims that they've seen one.
No, I haven't spoken to anyone
so.
who's seen a triangle. Definitely not.
Yeah.
The one
I've
like
spoken to
Tom
many
DeLonge.
people who claim to see it. I mean, maybe they don't have video or pictures, but I've spoken to many people who have claimed to see what they claim to think is a TR3B upon retrospect. You know, placement of lights, the way that the thing was outlined. Sometimes it was cloaking in and out. You know, myself, I've seen 3 lights that proximity-wise in the sky looked like they could have been the dimensions of a TR3B, although I didn't see personally an outline. This was very stationary. I'd say probably, maybe 5,000-6,000 feet above the ground. I mean, it's high enough, but you can still see it. Again, just to kind of bank on your question there, though, I think there are lots of sightings where people have seen this, but not anything definitive that they can share and say, yes, look on the side, you see the serial number, you can tell that's, from XYZ, and this is, some sort of covert technology that, we haven't had. We keep thinking of the stealth bomber, and we keep coming back to that as something that was classified for so long, and there were sightings people would see of this particular thing and not have any idea what it was in the sky. I'm revisiting something old in way of a concept here, but, I think it's fresh to remind ourselves that, today's mystery is tomorrow's answer.
Good point.
Who gave it the name TR3B?
It's a good question, actually. I don't know.
Because I watched Travis's interview with Third Phase, and he said that name's just made up. He said, I don't like to call it that. Somebody just made that name up. I mean, it sounds very military, doesn't it? It sounds like it's ours. But I can't remember. Well, I think it's been in. I could be wrong here, but how long's it been around for, that name? Because before it was just Black Triangle or Triangle Craft.
About 15 years.
Right? Yeah.
When I got into the field, I never heard of it in 2004. And then about 2006 or 7 is when I first heard of it, I remember.
I mean, that would be a good thing for the fellow ufologists in this world to look up. I want to know, somebody in the chat who's really balls deep into this. Where did it come from? Who called it a TR3B and why? Because I have no idea.
Actually, I think it came out with that
The
video.
Aurora Project. That's what people are saying in the chat.
The Aurora Project. When
I
was
heard
that?
of
The
that
Black
60s?
years
Manta.
ago.
That's the 70s?
Yeah.
80s?
I think that
I never heard of
was.
it. I think that video made it popular or something like that. Maybe that's what it is.
No, Aurora Project was something else. That was a not a hypersonic, supersonic jet that would go into space.
Okay. They now have a thing called the slingshot. Have you seen this thing? It spins around and it throws satellites out of Earth's grasp.
Sounds like fun.
Have you? It's real.
I have heard of that before. Yeah.
I have the video. I was gonna play it on my show. It's pretty
Tonight?
wild. Huh?
Tonight?
If I do a show, yeah.
He wasn't
don't say
feeling
that,
well
Rich.
before the show.
What will we do at 9?
Yeah.
You'll watch a replay.
But we've seen like every.
Go back 3 years.
Yeah, I think that's.
Hey, if you want
Actually,
another,
no, Outer Range is out, episode 5.
Yes.
So I do want to watch Outer Range.
Outer
as
Range.
well.
Have you guys seen that show? Outer Range.
It's so
Is,
good.
is that with the guy that was from the Goonies?
Josh Brolin, the actor.
The,
oh,
the
he's
old-
good.
Yeah.
I started watching about 10 minutes of it and fell straight to sleep. Not because of the program, because I came in after drinking whiskey with my dad and I thought I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not.
it's a
great,
great
and
time to
just
start
went-
one.
It's not
for
a
5
great-
seconds.
It's not
yeah.
a great
Yeah.
time to start it, but no, it's got shades of.
It's really good.
It's got shades of like Skinwalker Ranch in there. I think it's more like a supernatural sort
Yeah.
of show.
be-
It's
I'll
quite
be all
interesting.
up.
Cool.
Oh,
yeah, it's an
Alright.
interesting.
That's
show.
Netflix?
Uh,
Prime, I
Prime.
think.
Amazon Prime.
I'll be all
Oh,
over
okay,
that.
good.
Yeah.
Great, great cast.
We're
great
gonna talk
acting.
about it Monday night for our Monday movie night. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's really good. So we want to get
Yeah.
into it.
No spoilers, I hope. Otherwise, I'm not watching.
No.
No.
Lee, what was you going to say about the TR3B?
Comment.
When it came out, we were figuring out when the name.
Oh, I think the Aurora thing was used in X-Files. I remember they had some sort of code word for the black triangles in X-Files. I'm sure that
I can never remember
is the Aurora
TR3B.
project. No, I don't think it was TR3B.
They just called them triangles.
Well, we have to have some sort of label. If we don't get it officially, then we're going to make something up so that everybody has a consensus and way of talking about a specific event. I think the TR3B is no different, but it would be very interesting to see where the immediate origin of that label came from.
What did it stand for, though?
It's not. It's just a number. That's just
Travis 3 boys. I don't know. TR Tyrannosaurus Rex
Third base.
3.0
T-Rex.
third base. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know, man. That's a very good question. What does this exactly stand for?
Maybe it means triangle 3. TR with the number 3 because there's 3 sides, and B is buoyancy.
Well, if you knew the answer, why didn't you just tell us, Rich?
I was waiting to see if anybody else had any knowledge.
Tony
good one.
UK. Tony UK in the chat's got a good suggestion. So triangle equals TR, and then 3 base lights, so 3B.
Oh,
Makes a lot of sense.
Well, that's almost what I said. That's nice.
Beautiful.
That's it. He's got it.
All right, we've solved it.
Perfect.
Toady.
If I could give a subscriber a super chat right now, I'd give
That's
Toby one.
good. Well,
Exactly.
that's a good idea.
No, it's not. I don't want to pay subscribers.
Everybody would come up with great ideas.
Can you imagine that? YouTube made a feature to pay the subscribers. So
I just took it for granted that's what you
that
did,
would
Ollie.
be a good feature.
Speaking of good features, GUFON got the thank you button.
Yeah. That was a really cool. So not everybody gets a thank you button.
No,
What's the
it's
thank you button?
actually a thanks button. But when the video ends, you can give me super chats in the comment section.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
I made
you
$10
have
on
to pay
a
for that?
comment. Somebody left me money last night. I can't believe it.
Nice.
I want to
Goofy man.
let you guys know here before I have to run real quick. I wanted to tell you exactly where I am now.
You're like a tic tac.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
nice.
gonna be difficult to see, but yeah, you see the ocean here. We've got some sand and what have you out the window. But more importantly, right around here, okay, above the horizon, this is where I saw the very first UFO that I've ever seen when I was a teenager. And this is probably about a mile out into the woods. So what I figured I would do while I'm down here for the next couple of days is to actually trek out to the approximate site that I thought I saw this thing hovering over and see if there's anything around in those woods that I can identify that, would attract anything like that. It was very strange at the time, and I've told this story many times, so I won't go into the incredible detail here, but to say exactly what happened, this thing was sitting above what were power lines at the time. And of course, the trees weren't as grown in as they were now. But at the same time, it was stationary, and it was one of those Bob Lazar models. And you could see on the inside, there was a rotating band of colored lights. And through the binoculars, I could see that they almost looked like they were square as they kind of, again, rotated in the center. Now, I, again, told the story many times. I felt in my head, don't turn around, it'll disappear. And of course, after some bit of time, I was convinced that because it was so stationary and hadn't gone anywhere, I was going to just run over to the room, grab the camera. And so I tried doing that, and the thing had disappeared. But this is exactly where it happened, right out here in Long Island Sound, right off the coast of Connecticut. So we have the Groton sub base over here. This is a world-known submarine base connected to Montauk and Orient Point, some of the other very well-known locales that have had either submarine bases that were disclosed, or there were many that were secret, and we still have the remnants of those bases left, so we know that they existed. So maybe it had something to do with the sub base. And if that's the case, that's kind of interesting. Unfortunately, I won't be able to get in there, but I could at least record it. But I want to let you guys know that that is what I'm going to be doing while I'm down here this weekend in way of UFOs.
Oh, mate, we look forward to seeing
nice.
that. Seeing you out in the woods.
It'll be out in the woods, yes. See, where what's that?
We didn't say anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think somebody had mentioned. I didn't want to talk over you. I mean, there's a beach out here. You have the coastline that goes all the way back and forth here, and yet over the train tracks there is a wetland preserve. So all this back there you can hike through if you find the right trails, but this is all nature preserve for miles and miles. So again, maybe there's something in the way of that particular land that interests UFOs to come by and do whatever action that they're doing. I mean, so many times we've heard UFOs in anomalous places such as graveyards or even just over oceans. This one might be more readily explained by some sort of structure we cannot see, but at the same time we're still left in the dark because they're there. We witness half of whatever that activity is with no idea of the intention behind their presence. And again, this happened when I was 19 years old. So this was back in the 90s, late 90s. So it'll be interesting. Never seen another one.
You're 40 something?
Yeah, well, the 40. Okay, no something yet. All right.
Oh my God, I thought you were early 30s.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I keep the cucumbers on at night. Face masks are a must.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said you keep cucumbers on and not in.
Honestly.
If he shaved that hair off, he'd look like he's 18.
Yeah, you're probably right about that, Rich.
All right,
You have wisdom
27.
as eyes, Michael. Sorry, but
What's that?
I said you have wisdom as eyes. You wouldn't look 18.
That's true. He
Thank
does.
you.
You're right.
Exactly.
He is wizardry.
I would just have to close my eyes as I showed my ID.
You are now the wizard.
I love
Oh
when
my God, it's DarkHour Paranormal, the wizard.
Oh, I'm a Renaissance man. Might as well add that moniker to the pile too, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, listen,
Thank
I
you.
want to thank you. I'm going to run for the moment here, but thank you very much, Ollie, and everybody here that's joining. I appreciate you guys. And, love the show as always. Even if I can't be here when Ollie has so many times graciously invited me, I'm always checking in, whether I'm at work or off.
You let me know before. You always say I might drop in, but it'd be late.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I really do.
We appreciate you, Michael.
All right.
Everybody go subscribe to DarkHour Paranormal.
Now.
Hey, we're almost to 4,000. About another 25
nice.
away. We'll be there.
Wow.
So
Well done, mate.
Exciting.
Pretty soon, we're all going to be unshadow banned.
Yeah, hopefully. One of these days.
You see.
All right, thank you guys. I'll see you soon. All right.
Giddy
Yeah.
up.
Take care.
Cheers. Ciao.
And thank you, Jennifer, for the super chat there. Triangle 3 black mantra.
Manta. It should
Manta.
Mantra. Oh, it says mantra.
But why the M?
Yeah, I don't know.
be. Yeah, it was a black manta.
TR3.
Triangle 3 black mantra.
I think at the end of the day, until we get an official document from Lou himself that says what TR3B stands for, we're all just guessing. So Lou, help us out, please.
With a piece of identification as well.
Yeah, just show us some ID first, Lou, and that would help things.
Just for fun.
No,
That's money. He might know.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anything with his signature to prove that he's ever worked with a UFO thing.
Which is strange.
Does he?
No.
Nothing.
You would think even like a sent email, nothing.
No, I mean, they erased all
those. Should ask him the next time he's on his show. The next time
they didn't erase those emails. They didn't erase anything. It's very hard to erase an email.
If you go back, I think it was 2019 maybe, there's an article from Politico, I think it is. And in there he says that there isn't even a paper trail for what he's been doing.
That's perfect.
Well,
Which again is
that's
like
what disinformation is. You know, it's your ability to cover your tracks.
Yeah.
Or make it look that way.
Yeah. But really,
it's all an illusion.
In the first place.
Schratt would know, as Lord Ludicrous said in the chat. Schratt would know. Definitely.
Yeah. Do you think we would think differently of Lou if he wasn't counterintelligence? Just work for the government?
No. Not me personally, because he hasn't provided any proof of anything. And it doesn't matter who he's working for. But, and that's the thing. I mean, there's people, it's standards of evidence, and it's what standards of evidence apply to make your beliefs make sense. And it's different for everybody, which is why we're in this mess. But it should just be stick to the facts for me. That's how it should be. But minefield.
But what has he done for you? Nothing. For anything? Can you other than create mainstream media talking?
Got people talking about it. That's what everyone seems to say.
But that's not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Who cares? We've been talking forever.
The illusion.
I once said that this is when Lou was in TTSA. I actually, to bring it back in line a little bit with Elon Musk here, with the clickbait, but I once said that everybody should tweet Elon Musk and ask him what he thinks of TTSA, the company. Nobody did, but
yeah,
that would be in. I would
Yeah.
love to know what a guy like that would think of these characters.
I think he'd think they were con men.
He may have never heard of them.
No, but if you explained them to what TTSA were, what they were doing, how they were raising money, I think he'd think they were con men.
For sure.
Barry McKean, everybody, with a
thank you, Barry, my lad. I appreciate that.
I mean, here's like a question for you guys. Like, 3 of us are from 4 of us, from the UK. Why don't you think that the UK are talking about this in a serious way?
Lee's not from the UK.
He's from the Isle of Man, correct?
Yeah,
he's just from a little island.
Yeah.
Like
we're like your dead rich nephew.
Oh my god, that's true.
Josh, do you know how many times I've thought this? When you're going out with you'll know this. When you're going out with your mates around Leeds or whatever, and you start talking UFOs, they just look at you, just go, "Not again, mate."
For God's sake,
he's off again. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird.
Like the conversation. It's difficult to explain because the most, like, we talk to Americans the most in this topic.
True.
And the difference between how it's portrayed in America compared to the UK is just night and day. Really, there's like no interest. There's no interest at all in the topic.
Yeah.
Which to me is weird, because when you're thinking about America and how it's portrayed in the media on Fox News, and you've got Jeremy Corbell, you've got Lou Elizondo, Sean Cahill, Avi Loeb talking about the Galileo stuff. There's nothing in the UK at all. Like, that's not even picked up on the news. Like,
Jeez.
there's no one talk. The only person we've got is Nick Pope. That's it. That's it.
Nick, no hope.
We've got Nick. We've got no hope. Nick just talking about it. That's all it is.
Oh, that's
Joe,
funny.
I had a
Lee, what did you show me the other day about?
he had an article in the Daily Mirror.
Oh, I saw this. Yeah.
Where he was talking where he was saying that seagulls could be aliens.
Yeah.
Who's
this?
this?
Yeah.
Nick Pope. Nick Pope said it. Yeah, the other day.
Yeah.
You know what he means, though.
I had an argument with Nick Pope on Twitter the other day.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Nobody argues with him.
I don't know if you could bring the subject up on
No,
here,
I can't. But let's just say that he had it in his head that Boris Johnson was a hero for a certain country he was in, where you would have thought at least a flak jacket would have been a good idea had he been in any real danger. And I had an argument with Nick Pope that Boris Johnson was full of shit.
Which he is full of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So
that man can't run a bath, let alone a country.
Yeah.
But
agree, Ollie. Agree. Yeah.
But it was so weird because I was sat in my local pub. I was sat in my local pub, and all I was thinking to myself was how crazy the world's got, where I could be sat next to my dad having a pint whilst arguing with Nick Pope on Twitter.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Nick
I
Pope.
love that.
Nick Pope.
Nick No Hope.
You do a great impression of
No,
of
I
Nick.
don't.
No, not tonight.
No. I've been working on my Scottish accent, which it's gotten pretty darn good, I might add.
Go.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it so
I
far.
can't today. I just don't have the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just can't put that
I
kind of
think
pressure on me. Actually, it doesn't take. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh,
Rich.
yes, I hear you.
Forget Scottish. Let's get him working on Scouse. See if we can do that.
Oh, Scouts. That's another question. Yeah.
They are aliens.
The Cousins brothers were teaching me pigeon talk. Because
Pigeon talk.
That's Hawaii for like street talk.
Oh right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they say stuff like, "What's up, brother?" You know, things like. Yeah, have you ever watched Dog the Bounty Hunter? Just watch that, and you'll see pigeon talk when they talk to the citizens.
Oh, I thought you meant like they'll walk around going. Brrr, brrr.
Yeah.
No.
They're going to take over the White House. I heard them saying "coo, coo."
Josh, though, I couldn't agree more. The UK, I think, apart from a handful of people, literally, I can talk to about this subject.
Yeah.
Not
be ridiculed.
No, for sure. It's so far behind, and
yeah.
And that's what's always confused me about the whole thing is like, why is it only America who's taking this stuff seriously? You know,
Hollywood.
like why is that the case?
Hollywood.
You know,
Make all the movies.
Yeah.
Mainstream media.
Because if it was such a threat, what Lou says and whoever else says, it would be talked about everywhere. It really would.
I'd also argue that we don't. If there's another reason for it, like as far as a misinformation thing, it doesn't really need to be done in other countries in the West, because inevitably you have like this sort of culture hub in America, and everything that comes from America ends up washing on our shores anyway in some way. So that could be a reason for it. As far as why we don't take it seriously anymore, I wonder if certainly media outlets felt burnt after the alien autopsy video, Because if you remember back when that came out, like we went fucking all in on that. Like I remember
I think
that.
I think it was Anne. I think it was Anne and Deck did a movie about it as well. Can you remember that?
Yeah, but I mean that was well after it. But I remember being like a kid in school when this thing like came out, and it was on the front of every newspaper. Like every newspaper had that alien on the front of it. That one.
He's got it.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
I bought this in 1995.
Wow.
There you go. It was £2.99. You see,
Special alien issue.
issue.
That was
also the
expensive
peak.
magazine for the time.
It's still got pages stuck together and everything.
Oh, that was a bit TMI, you know? Is that all that was available?
Yeah.
Oh.
Desperate times, for sure.
Wasn't all that was
It's
available.
before the
it was all that
internet.
was needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have his cell phone right on. Yeah.
But no, I was all over this. You know this.
Yeah, we get it. We get it. No.
Got right in there, down and dirty. We got it.
Keep digging.
Did anybody believe this when they first saw this?
Yes,
No.
100%. I believe it 100%.
Not me.
I didn't.
Not even close.
It was just me then. Me
No.
You
I
and Lee.
believe you.
Because
believe you.
that's the difference between America and the UK.
I was 15.
You guys believe everything.
Here's the question: why do we keep
I don't know.
believing after all the crap we've had to deal with, all the fake stuff, the Roswell slides, the alien autopsy there? Like, why do we keep believing in this stuff?
I'll tell you why. Because we want to believe so badly. We'll listen to everybody, and then we'll figure it out. You know, while they're telling us, that's what happens. That's what.
But that's half the fun. That's half the fun. You know, you talk to someone, come on, let's hear your story on it, and someone will come to you with something, and you go, well, yes, could be, could not be. You know,
like it or not,
it is fun.
As much as some people try and base this in like technology and science, what we're doing is we're taking part in modern folklore.
Absolutely. I used to love the urban legends that would go around, you know, like alligators in the sewers and the woman that put the dog in the microwave and it exploded. You know, all of these little
Did it have a swallow the spoon?
No, it was a thing. It was an urban legend that is a rich woman that had a little poodle, took it out for a walk. It got wet. So she wanted to dry it quickly, so she put it in the microwave oven, and the dog exploded. It was and it always happened to a friend of a friend, you know.
There you go. There you go. Rachel has disappeared because of the super chat. Thank you, Jennifer. The British are doing a better job of hiding it.
That's funny.
I guarantee Boris has got nothing to do with it.
Maybe she's right. Well, they don't have as many sightings. They don't create the technology like we do. We have all the stuff. That's why I said in the beginning of the show, it's obvious who's got it. And
we buy it off you.
Yeah, exactly. You buy pieces.
If it wasn't for Rendlesham Forest, we'd have like fuck all of any substance really.
And that thing is falling apart too.
Is it? How come?
Ooh.
Because they said the British government guy, I don't know, last year or the anniversary of it, whatever, 40-year anniversary 2 years ago, said it was a prank that was put on the Americans, because the Americans, when they did practice sessions or training, whatever, because it was really boring there, so they called the British people aliens when they captured them in their little war games they would play. So as a joke one night, then the other side didn't want to feel like aliens, so they made believe that there were UFOs and that they were aliens. And that's the thing that came out. It was a prank on the U.S. to get them to believe they were really seeing aliens, because they called them aliens when they did their little war games. That's the story they came up with. Do you believe that? Do you believe that's what happened?
That's more likely to me than aliens, but I'm not sure if it's true, but that seems more likely to me than aliens for sure.
What about the guy, Colonel Holt, with his recording, and he's seeing everything?
The recording, and you've got Jim Peniston, I think the guy was, who touched
Yeah.
the craft and he got the download of information as well.
Yep.
And them talking about it felt like time was being manipulated, that they they couldn't walk quickly.
And you can hear Colonel Holt say, "There's a beam coming right out of it. This is weird." I love that part.
Yeah.
The audio's really, like, it's really good audio.
I know. Well, he had his little recorder with him.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I think of this subject and I look at the history behind it, I almost feel like it's a slow burner, but on purpose. So it's been planned out. They kind of know roughly how technology may progress, what we may get along the lines, and there's a date set for something that's completely planned. I'm not talking about Project Bluebeam. Or maybe I am. I don't know. It's something. I do believe that there is something sinister behind all of this.
People are selfish animals, though, and I think it's very difficult to believe that people would plan for things they won't see the end of. In the same way as it's no fun playing a prank on someone if you don't get to see it happen.
Unless you live longer than
humans do.
Well, this is what they were talking about. Now is the beginning of the disclosure movement. And Lou was talking about this, saying that, and even Greer mentioned this, that we are getting rid of the old, the old guard. And now the generation before me and before that, that generation, the 15-year-olds now, they're going to be where we are in 30, 40 years.
And further forward.
And that's when maybe, if all the old guard gets out and you create that, the whole planet understands that aliens could exist, they could be here, and this is the beginning of it, what we're doing now, in 30 years you'll have disclosure.
Or it's the exit of the old guard. You get people in which haven't done as much work as you've done, without seeing like the dead end after dead end after dead end. They're super enthusiastic about it because they haven't done that grind. So that means that the government can continue to put disinformation out. It will be lapped up by the new blood, and then in 30 years' time, they're exactly the same place.
Yeah,
with Rich 2.0.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah, that's what's going on now. That's why UFO Twitter's a thing. It's like the next attempt.
Yeah,
that makes sense, and they've used in UFO Twitter and social media this time to gather the troops.
It's another chapter starting.
Yeah.
And
everybody's already using the hashtag, so there's already like a group.
Yeah, I mean, there was someone, Akashi Chris, who comes on our show sometimes. She made a great point when we were on Amy's show, that UFO Twitter is like the perfect environment to test.
Like a testing ground.
It's like a testing ground. We're all just kind of like a big testing ground for these three-letter agencies.
Of course.
PSYOP ground, to test what theories.
And YouTube. And look what Anjali did.
On YouTube too, yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
What does she do?
So it will be interesting to see.
Fake press conference.
What will be interesting to see, of course, is as the manipulation of Twitter gets taken away, what will happen to the UFO community? What will happen to the behavior on UFO Twitter? Will it change? Will all of a sudden we find that we've got a ton more followers than we thought?
I think at first it'll drop because you will. It seems that the first thing Musk wants to do is get human verification for people, so we get rid of some of the bots. And given the fact that was it something ridiculous like 7 out of 15 comments on anything to do with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were bots. That's there to cause chaos.
That's almost 50%.
Yeah, it's really weird. But I mean, all you need to do is if you go through your profile, and see how many followers you've got. There's so many profiles you go, fuck, that's not real. That's not real. That's not real.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe it be the case when you get rid of those things that you can entice people back. I see. I'm not opposed to like this whole idea of zero anonymity online. Where are my words? Because I've had it now with 2 different accounts, with people making two different accounts to argue with me about topics, and when I've gone to their profile, they follow one person, which is me, and have 0 followers. And
you should be flattered. Really.
I am. It's fucking wonderful.
It's ridiculous.
But like how many of those accounts are there? Just accounts what one person's made, and then that person there, how many accounts do they have to go and speak to other people at the same time?
I was had one.
That's what Lou did.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Lou did. Made the 7 accounts, right? Isn't it 7?
Still doing it now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I keep asking for what's his name, Lou from I'm a Celebrity UFO, whatever he's called.
Lou. Yeah.
Yeah, to come on because I want his buddy to come on as well.
Rather be squinting?
Rather be squirting.
Or
what?
Yeah, that guy.
I won't say his real name, but I know it.
Well, we all know it.
Very honored to know it, but no one really knows it.
Yeah, it's out there.
Oh yeah, I did tell you, but no, I'm not going to.
But yeah, I mean, he's put it out on his Twitter. Maybe it's a couple of weeks ago that he wants like you guys to come on the show. He wants you guys.
Did?
Yeah, he did. He said,
"Whose guys?"
I'm pretty sure he tagged.
UCR?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he tagged you in the post, Rich. Pretty sure he did.
Was that not me?
I got an email from him. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying it a couple of weeks ago. He definitely called like basically you out and other people out to come on his show and have a debate about it all.
You guys should. I mean, I don't even understand the beef
I would
or why.
love to see it. I'd love to see you guys go on the show and have a debate with him.
Me too.
There's a beef because we don't believe what they believe about Lou. They wear ties now. You know, I mean, who does that? You know, the only reason they did that is the same reason UFO Jesus did it. Because somebody told them people will take you more seriously if you wear a tie. That's it.
Does that matter?
Well, they also had a producer, I think, that also encouraged it as well.
Yeah,
I think UCR are good
I think
guys
it's the same guy.
But they are good people. But I think they have such a misconception and group you guys with.
Yeah, they're putting you guys in like the fist club effectively, which
we're not.
It's unfair
which isn't right at all.
Well, yeah, and I think that it would be nice to have you guys just kind of hash it out, and you know, because I think that beef is just well, I don't know. This is also from the external point of view, but I think it's mostly just misunderstandings.
For sure.
You know, and at least I mean, you never had. I remember when you would just be like, you know, I respect those guys like a long time ago when we first were like you and us, Rich. But I don't know where along the way, I think Lou just started grouping you and Cambion with Fessler. And I don't know, it's kind of spun from there. But I think that's just, I think he's just saw maybe some things out of context and he didn't really look into the full scope or really like what you're saying. He didn't understand the dynamic. The problem is, with like a lot of people who just watch like short clips of what you're doing. And so, it would be nice just to get some peace out there.
But we do like the opposite approach. It's like if I don't like someone, for example, I want to speak to them and figure out for myself if I like that person. I don't go on what someone's told me, this person's a dick or that person's a dick. I would rather.
That's why you invited Leon on Sunday.
Yeah,
exactly. Yes. That's why he's coming on. But
that's why Rich is one of our good friends.
But but there's this.
We don't judge.
But there's this like mentality within the community. It's like you have to like certain things. You have to like certain people. You have to share certain like people's posts to like be seen as like a credible person within the community. And it's like no one has a mind for themselves.
Everything causes fucking diversions and like arguments, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you talk about UFOs or politics or sport. It seems like every conversation subject is just there to fragment the base that it's there for. It's really odd.
I just think people are people.
Yeah,
I think it's by design. I think it's by design to keep people from talking to each other and keep people from getting on. The more people argue with each other, the less we work out that we're being fucking destroyed by our ruling classes.
I think that's what Lou's purpose is. Like, he's been put in here as like this huge distraction, you know, because like he contradicts himself all the time on purpose. I think is to create all this division and anger. I think that's
for what.
And doesn't it make sense? Because why would he go on podcast with 400 subscribers?
Yeah.
He's getting into the nitty gritty of ufology with all the people who are new and old mixing it up and trying to get people fighting, I think.
Yeah.
That's why he goes on Fessler's show to bust my chops.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
It's true.
You know,
well, partially.
all you channels fight. I'm not talking about you channels in general. I'm talking about all UFO channels seem to fight with other UFO channels about aliens and UFOs and what somebody's saying about aliens and UFOs.
Yeah, or like the style in which they're serving this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I can't get that
everybody's
wrong.
got different style, you know?
Yeah,
Doesn't make sense, Ollie.
It makes zero sense. What should be happening is exactly what you just said, Josh. And I actually called out people on Twitter. I called out
a few weeks ago.
Fessler and Lou, not Lou Alessandro, Lou, celebrity Lou
Jimenez.
Yeah, and I think he's actually quite a nice guy. I don't know about Fessler. I've not watched much of his stuff. But I do think it's a conversation that needs to be had. I think whoever's platform, whoever's channel we go on and do this conversation, I think that needs to happen because it just seems like
it's cheesy, but we're stronger together.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know,
thank you.
True. We can all come at this from different angles, perspectives, styles, but at the end of the day, we're all kind of after the same thing, or we should be. That's what we're all saying.
Just the truth, whatever that is.
We are stronger together, and we have a much bigger voice if we use it that way. But
yeah, I mean,
that's.
Can you imagine if Lou went on to like Third Face of Moon and started talking about
if he had agreed at that one time for the debate
let's
and
lay
all
it
that,
and say, look, let's lay it all out for you guys. This is why we need your support. I'm sure he would have a lot more support. He really would.
Of course. And a lot more respect, not only support.
And it would make sense if you want to get this movement, you'd want everybody on board of it, not just one side of the argument. You know,
and you'd also want to go on the biggest channels.
Yeah. So
that's what I would think.
Doesn't make sense.
Lou thinks that Third Phase, myself, Cambion are paid by Greer.
And us too. And us
Don't
too.
forget us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Remember.
I didn't think that you were in that, too.
Yeah, we were.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because he canceled coming on your show.
He canceled coming on our show.
That's my fault.
He was paranoid.
Because we work for Greer, apparently.
So. He saw you talking to me is what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And that's what made him think, oh, my God, they also work for Greer.
I do the odd bit for him. That's about it. You know. No, it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thought. I don't even believe he thinks that. I don't even believe he thinks that. I think he doesn't. He uses that as an excuse.
It's been.
I think
it's been said.
I think
he said it.
I think he does believe it. I really do.
He said it. You don't think he believes it? You think he's just saying it to create a rift?
Well, I mean,
that could be a good point.
It could also be true. I mean,
if he's counterintelligence, he would be doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
well. He would be trying to plant like bullshit as well. So
nobody gets paid to do anything in this business from other people.
Greer what I paid by Rogan.
Yeah, you did.
Sorry, guys, I'm going to have to drop off now.
No worries, mate.
I've got to go away for the weekend.
All right.
Enjoy your weekend, mate.
Bye.
Yeah, be safe, man. Have fun.
Yeah, have a nice time.
Thank you, Rich.
See you.
See you, bye.
Take care.
And then there were 4.
Yeah, well, we've gone 2 hours now. Anyway, so the show is coming to its. What I've just about beard. My elastic band. I hope this is showing up because I've been doing all this.
It
People
wasn't.
people think I'm David Bowie from the Labyrinth.
I thought you were doing sign language.
No, I had elastic band, Rich. Yeah, Rich, what are you got a show tonight?
I don't know.
You feeling up for it?
I'm better that I spoke once I started talking and getting energized. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to talk about, but if
Lou,
what am I going to do?
Talk about Lou. It's always a safe option.
Yeah, I know.
Lots of material there for you.
But we just did that here. And
Corbell.
It was meant to be about Elon.
I did Corbell for an hour last night.
I love when they call him Corbell.
Corbell. Who?
Sheehan's a good one.
Sheehan.
For anyone that likes video games, I like the idea of the Kerbal Space Program, and it's just a little. There's a video game called the Kerbal Space Program where you make.
I love that game. I've got a YouTube video on it.
But this would just be little Corbells trying to make a Tic Tac.
Is that what it is?
You should do a show, Rich. On. Have you ever done one on why Chien is in both beds?
What?
No.
Well, that's a nice
like Chien's in
but
Greer's bed.
Yeah, I know. What am I going to say? I don't know anything yet. I don't know the details. All I know is what Greer said, and Greer talked about it, that they were for two totally different things and at two different times.
I bet you.
Sheehan was the lawyer who helped Greer get protect the people, the 400 at the 2001 Disclosure Con thing, whatever it's called.
Do you remember the guy? Do you remember the guy in the video?
You mean
that was
his friend?
His friend.
Yeah, the crazy eyes guy.
That freaked the hell out of me.
What's his name? Your mother's ass.
That's his.
Just banged my elbow really hard. But that's But that's where Sheehan got his in, because he was the lawyer for Greer back then. And what he did, he was what do you call that? Like your First Amendment rights. He was like a rights guy and protected these people that were coming out so they wouldn't lose their pensions and shit like that. So he was the lawyer for all these people. And then they went their separate ways after being his lawyer for a long time, and he found Lou, or I guess Lou needed a lawyer because of what was going on after he left ATIP. And he got involved in helping him and so on and so forth. Because they were trying to, he doesn't know if his pension is going to be taken, Lou. That's the illusion we're getting. What's this? Talk about ghosts and just show clips and sit back.
Thank you, Jen.
I don't know why she doesn't get her own show.
Just do like an open StreamYard.
She'd do a good show.
She would do a great show because she's got all these ideas. Talk about ghosts and just show clips and sit back.
I like a good goof on ghost show.
Ghosts. She thinks that's all I do. That's why. She'd rather me not talk. And just shut the fuck up and show ghost videos.
She's like, just show clips, don't talk.
I'll have you know, Jen's from the UK, so she loves your show that much that she stays up and watches it.
She hates me. She watches me because she hates me.
Or she loves you.
No, she
hates
you. She hates me.
Sorry, Jennifer, I don't really know who you are.
Jen's awesome. She's fantastic. She's been on the show. She's been on the show before.
Anyone who supports the show is awesome.
She has.
Yeah.
Anyone who supports the show is awesome. So
true.
I think, Josh, honestly, I think everybody who is on any of our shows in the chat having decent conversations with people, whether you're super chatting or not, if you're putting the thumbs up, if you're spreading the word,
absolutely.
Yeah. If you are
you're just around and we appreciate it.
If you're there for the channel and you're supporting it, whatever way you're doing it, if you're staying respectful in the chat, I love you all. You're fantastic.
Agree.
And Me, Lee, and Rich, who I don't know if Rich is or not, because he said he's going away for the weekend. Maybe he might do it from a
can't
car.
make it this weekend onto the
Oh.
show.
Oh, no,
we'll
he
have
can't.
to
He did
get him
message
on.
me.
We'll do like another show with you guys,
Yeah.
Rich
Well,
involved. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're still doing Sunday.
Oh
Yes.
hell yeah!
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Can't
And
wait.
is it live? Is it
Rich,
live?
you're welcome to join if you'd like. If you're not.
Oh,
saying
now
present.
I'm welcome to join. Oh, now. Because in
Rich,
front of
you're always
everybody.
welcome. You literally have like open door policy to our channel.
Yeah.
Come on.
I have carte blanche.
It's just like a revolving door with you. We can just pop in and out with, you know.
Exactly.
True. Here,
Yeah, same
Ollie, I'll
here.
put. Here's the link. You can put it because I'm not a moderator, so it won't work if I put it in the chat.
What
But
am I
I
going
put
to do with that?
in a private
Okay, I will
chat.
bob
Just
that.
the link
I will.
to the show.
I'm going to pop that in the chat, and I'm going after the show. I'm going to pop it in the description, people. So go check it out. It will be in the description before
What do you mean?
I go
So
to
anybody
sleep.
can go to the show on Sunday? Is that what that's
No.
for?
I just put the link to like the YouTube link, but I'm not a moderator, so if I put it in the chat, it won't be a link or whatever.
It will.
Oh, really? I thought people couldn't-
Unless Ollie has that pressed in the settings.
Oh,
See, like on my show, you can drop
Oh.
links. Everybody can drop links.
Oh yeah, well I guess it does. It's just not clickable. I just did it just to test it out.
Really?
I've just put it in the link.
It's
Yeah,
not
put the link
clickable for
in.
you?
No, but you can still copy it, I suppose. But yeah, it's not the
I
same as
know.
when Ollie posts
It's not like
it.
a hyperlink. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
like
not-
a copy and
hyperlink.
paste job. you
Yeah,
have.
I know, but you should. I thought, well,
Yeah.
maybe he has the setting on differently.
That's okay.
I'll be honest with you. I can't remember the last time I went into YouTube settings. But, you know, Josh Artemis are looking forward to the show on Sunday.
us too.
We don't
Is
really have
it-
a topic in mind. We're just gonna see how it goes, I guess.
Yeah, we'll just.
But,
Just do what I do. Just put some strange thumbnail up and then try to
Oh,
stick.
go look at the thumbnail.
go look at the thumbnail now.
It's
see what
funny.
it looks like.
It's funny.
You stick to it for about five minutes of the show, and then you just go completely off. Then every so often you just go, "Can we just please bring it back?" Oh no, fuck it.
Yeah.
We'll just go anywhere with it.
Yeah,
Speaking of fuck it, Lee, when's the show out? Well, that's
out-
what Lee's got that whole perception on his channel right now. He says YouTube, it may burn, but he doesn't care. He's going to do what he likes with it.
I think it's gonna be fine. That's out now. The podcast's out now. The video will be up on YouTube tomorrow.
Nice.
By the way, tonight I figured out what I am going to do. Show ghost videos.
You went really bright then when you said that. Show ghost videos. Then you
Yeah,
went
because I
lit-
switched on.
Really
I don't have any
excited.
lights on in here, so I use my computer screens for the lights.
I thought that was like some sort of dramatic effect that you just did. Like,
could be.
I do have the ground lights and behind me, but
Go-
son of a bitch, they're there. There it is.
Son of a bitch. Why don't you ever use the ring light that's behind you?
Oh my god, if I used any other lights, this whole room would be
Just
too bright.
But I definitely
Plus, I'm
prefer
gonna
it.
paint it.
I
Huh?
definitely prefer it how you've got just your normal room there, not the green
true.
screen. I prefer that.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just
I
looks
do
better
too.
on your screen, I think, with just your room there. I definitely prefer it.
Everything's still gonna be. It's gonna look different in
Yeah.
a couple of weeks
Yeah.
because I'm painting it and all that shit.
can I ask, do we prefer the Duplo there, or should it be like there?
Well, from
Yeah,
what I
like
can
that
see,
one.
it looks great.
This.
AKA, I can't see shit.
Well,
Yeah,
I-
it just looks
I-
black to me. I
Yeah,
can't
like
see
your
it.
background's very dark.
We're just gonna see his head. Watch. He's gonna turn around just a head. Oh wait, he's got something. What is this?
Oh.
It's a bong.
Oh, that
Lego.
is so good. Did you and your son make that?
No, he made it.
Cucumber then. No, it's.
That's really cool.
Is that a
That's a
cucumber?
cucumber.
I would make something so much better than this shit.
Love it.
That's gonna be
Obviously,
on
I'm
the internet
kidding. I'm very
forever.
proud of him.
Yeah.
I've just broke the leg off it. I'm gonna have to build that back up to its perfect.
Make sure you do that before bed.
Yeah.
My wire's got trapped around my leg, so I'm gonna have to end this show like this, people.
Yeah, bye,
See you
If you can
guys.
see
Oh my god.
my
Ollie's such a good example
no.
of why during childbirth oxygen is important for the child. That's what Ollie's a good example of.
it's really got tangled. Good night, God bless, folks.
God bless. Good
Bye
night.
bye.
Mind the bugs, don't bite.
Bye.
Like,
Giddy up.
I'm Alien Addict. Like, share, and subscribe, and don't get your wires crossed. Good night.